Hello, Professor Candido here. We're going to talk about lists and tuples. A list is just a bunch of items stored in a variable with the same name. So let's take a look here. We have a variable called numbers. Notice the square brackets. And we have 7, 12, 6, etc., up to -5. That is how you make a list. And how many items are in it? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they're separated by commas. A tuple is like a list, except you cannot change its values. And here we have a list of pets. Fire-breathing dragon, a ode to the Game of Thrones fans, fish and turtle. And when you refer to the whole name, such as numbers, you get all of them listed out to the screen. And when I say print s pets tuple, I get all of them listed out to the screen. I can use a for loop to get each individual element within the list. For example, in the numbers, what happens is the first time through, picture this whole list is kind of put over here. 7 is put into element for the first time, and we put 7 out to the screen. Then we go get 12, and we put that out to the screen. I'm going to right size this so you can see it. Look at this line of code right here. This put out the whole list to the screen. This code puts the whole tuple out to the screen. This code here allows me to get at each individual element within the list by using code like this. So see the 7, 12, 6, 8, 15, 21, 99, 100, and -5? It's the whole list here. Here's another way to get it using the while. You have to set the index to 0. And we say while 0 is less than the total number of entries in the list. So let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as long as 0 is less than 9, we say print numbers square bracket index. It goes and gets the first element. Keep in mind lists are 0 base. They start at 0. So if we have 9 elements, 0 through 8. And then we put it out to the screen, and we add 1 to the index, and we say is 1 less than 9? Get me index number 1, which is the 12. That's what this code is doing. And I ask you to compare the for and the while, and ask you which one you prefer to use. And I hope you prefer to use this one, because it's just so much easier. No needing to set a variable to the low value, no need to check, and no need to increment. This loop will go through each entry one at a time. What this code does, see if you could figure out what it does. It starts at 0. It's very similar to here. As long as the index is less than 9, we come in. We say the value that's in 7, the value that's in 0, which is 7, multiply it by 2 and update it. This line of code does exactly the same thing as this. I just show you options if you want to. So let's run this code again. Let me just run it. I say OK. Oh, I'm getting a permissions error, and there we go. So actually, let me do it again. File, save as. We'll save it to downloads. We'll say save, and I'll run it again. Everything should work great. Now notice, if in this code right here, if I take 7 and multiply it by 2, I get 14. If I take 12 and I multiply it by 2, I get 24. So this code shows you that you can put an individual list element on the left side of the equal. Now picture this. If I say print numbers, all of them go along for the ride. If I'm trying to use my mouse. There you go. If I say print out to the screen this individual index, which is the name of the list, square brackets, I get the individual elements. Here treats all 9 of these as one big group, and right here this gets at each individual one. Now let's take a look at this one. What do you think this does? I can create a new list starting at 1, going by 10s, incrementing by 2. And here it is right here. So I can dynamically instantiate an array using the range. What do you think this one does? It creates a 10-position list. I call them arrays. Arrays and lists are the same thing. give me a list starting at 1 up to 10, but not including 11, and go by ones, and this is what I get right here. I can also create a list called numbers 4 by taking square bracket 0 square bracket, multiplying it by 12, and it gives me 12 list values of 0. I can also do square bracket 1 comma 2 square bracket times 10, and I print out to the screen all of the numbers 5, and there you go. I get 1 2 1 2 1 2 repeated 10 times. And notice right here I can say what is the length of number 5, and it says there are 20 elements in it. What this does here, let me scroll down a little bit. I'm from a big family. I have boy siblings, Brad, Michael, Matthias, and Brian, and girl siblings are Lauren, Karen, and Liza. So I have a list of male names of my siblings and female names. And then what I can do is I can combine the two together, and I get one big list called all siblings, which you can see right here. Because I listed the boys first, you will see all the boys' names followed by all the female names. And how many elements? It's 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 elements, but you start at 0. And notice when I ask for the third element, 0, 1, 2, 3, Brian goes out to the screen. And down here, you can create a list this way. The Assad family is in homage to a previous student, Adwan Assad. And what I did is I created an Assad family list, but I did not put any values in it. Using the .append function, I can add in these names. And I decided to add a unique spelling of my name, Brian. And you can see I can process it this way. Many ways to do lists. You can hard code the values this way with square brackets. This is a tuple with parens. I can put out the whole list in entirety. I can get at individual elements. I can create a list dynamically using the range. I can use a list value with a multiplier to say how many. I can use square brackets like I did at the top. Or I can create a list like this, and I can dynamically add things.